Okay, BackChat powered by Paywise in season 2025. We are here with a man who's returned home, played some footy away from Western Australia, but he's back in town running his own business now. We might even have to plug that at the back end, mate. Brandon Matera joins us. Hello.
Hello, fellas. Thanks for having me.
How are you, mate? Have you done many of these chats?
Nah, well, Body Madge was my first one back in the day when he started up, after when he started all his gym stuff after Love Island. So, yeah, probably the third one, actually.
So
I
you're
did
going to go on
one.
Love Island after this?
No, definitely, mate.
Follow
definitely not.
footsteps. All right, so, mate, we asked the same question to every one of our guests, right? It's the greatest sporting achievement thanks to TABtouch this year. We want to know your greatest sporting achievement. We know you've played AFL. We know you've played across 2 clubs, right? We even know, like, you've got great family connections with AFL footy. Don't want to know your greatest AFL achievement. I want to know what you can do off the footy field. It's your greatest sporting achievement, not on the football field, thanks to TABtouch. Dan, Brandon wouldn't have heard this. Tell him. Tell him.
Chewett Hill Cricket Club, under 12s grand final, bowled 5 for 16. Was on a hat trick. So we lost the game, but that doesn't matter.
Do you know that ball is still in these offices?
Yeah,
I've been working with it in my hand, which is difficult to type with one hand.
Yeah, getting to shine. Get some
correct.
shine back.
It's still here. Have you got something for us, mate?
Well, I don't know it's not AFL, but waffle, I suppose, won a flag.
Can't be
that. Well, then I'd like to say, obviously love my horse racing. So,
okay.
Yes.
I've been pretty lucky. Every horse I've had ownership with have won, but even just winning a maiden is probably... I don't know. I reckon it's a great achievement.
That's good. So
nothing better going to the races with your mates and an ownership group and having that thrill. It's the same thrill that winning an AFL game, pretty much. So.
Have you got horses now?
I do. I still have one going around over in Melbourne, Green Fly. He's up and down though. So he's had one. His first up. This prep was unreal, and then hasn't backed it up since.
Did you play with Bellas? You would have, sure.
I did, yeah. So that was another horse when we first came back here. He got his license, and his first horse that he got in, there was about 10 of us boys in the Freo camp, and Mankind it was called, and ended up running in a Group 1. It was the year that COVID happened, so a lot of horses didn't come over, but got to run in the Group 1 Winterbottom. And it come nowhere, but it was obviously a great day.
Talk us through winning a race. So when you're around the boys, like it must be that good.
Yeah, I think Derby Day 2019, Derby Day I should probably say, not Derby Day. Derby Day at Ascot Racecourse, Mankind. I think was running in just a listed race, or not a listed race, just a normal race that he on a Saturday, and I think it was at probably $13, $14. So we didn't really have it. Didn't think it was obviously a chance that it was going to win, but Bella's just always said, definitely top 3.
That's
we'll
going
win
to
win this week. So anyway, we're all in the owner's spit. I think they call it the Vantage or whatever, where the owners go and watch the horse. And Chloe pulled it out with about 300 to go, and it just ran down the $1.80 favourite and literally won on the line. It was the best feeling ever. I think
so good.
Felt sorry for the younger boys like Lukey Ryan, Brendan Cox and Tay, because they had to train on the Monday, but because you got the extra 2 weeks off, the elders definitely celebrated that one.
How good. I can imagine the boys just going off their nut.
Yeah.
Mankind.
Mate, I want to go back to the start. So you've had a footy career across 2 clubs at AFL level in Gold Coast and Freo, but before it gets there, what's life like growing up for Brandon Matera? Where do you grow up? What's family like? I know you've got some footy connections in there.
Yeah, so come from obviously a family name in football with my 2 uncles, my father playing at Eagles and dad also played at Fitzroy. But grew up in Jandakot, Bull Creek, played my junior footy at Bull Creek Leeming, then made the move to South Fremantle. I was obviously playing in the East Fremantle district, so I didn't really know anyone in the South Freo region, but obviously my old man being there, we went there father and son and did the development squads, 14, 15, 16, carried up to Colts footy. I played a year of Colts probably under my age, a couple of games I should say, then went into the season, into my age group the year after, and then playing a couple of reserves games and a couple of league games, and we actually won the flag in the reserves that year, so that was pretty exciting before moving on to AFL footy.
So early days, you got to have memories of West Coast. Your dad Wally, uncles Peter and Phil. Do you have early day memories of West Coast, being around the rooms, going to games?
Yeah, definitely, mate. I'll never forget going down to the rooms, especially Phil and Peter down there. I was after the first time going in there, it was like, Dad, we're going footy this week, aren't we? And every time we went, he didn't want to go down there, but I'd make him get down there. I remember just sitting next to Phil, and just lolly jar going around and just taking a few lollies out and Powerade, Gatorade after they win. So it was a pretty good feeling. So having pretty lucky to grow up and get to experience that was pretty cool. So, but there was they named an oval back in Wagen where my dad and the brothers are from, and they had a tribute video put together of all three highlights. That goes for about 45 minutes. So I actually used to watch that going before games, which was Dad would
hype you up a bit. Yeah.
Dad would just laugh, but I actually really enjoyed watching them go about it.
I want to see that video.
Yeah, it's the old VCR, so it'd probably be hard to get these days.
So before games, you used to just get the VCR in.
Yeah, VCR, chuck it in. It had obviously the catchy songs as well, which was pretty cool.
That's so good.
What sort of players were around at that time? Especially with Phil, probably is the one that you were getting in there, Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
Who you remember rolling in? I just can't imagine walking in there as a young fellow, however old you were, I don't know, 6 or 10 or 12 or whatever.
Yeah, I can't remember actually.
And saying, I don't know, I'm just imagining I play with him Quinton Lynch just walking out of the showers and you're just
Yeah.
Have you got any of those moments where who's coming out?
It's just, well, obviously I haven't grown probably as much since then, but I think I was probably 15, 14, 15, 13 maybe even. But just remembering how tall they were and big, and because I was only a skinny kid, even when I got drafted, I was 62 kilos. So walking alongside those guys. But I think, Wirra was probably good mates with Phil, so always hope to have a chat with him. Which is pretty cool.
Were you good at footy from an early age? Was that something that you thought you could play, from Auskick and beyond?
Yeah, I was. I think I only played a couple of games of Auskick. My dad was the coach, and after a couple, I got asked to go up and play under 9. So I actually played through juniors, a year younger as well. And Dad never coached me after that. He was always my biggest critic, but never actually coached me. Going through the grades, I probably was one of the better players growing up, and probably certainly in the development squads as well.
I've always thought, and probably never been under, I've never experienced it, but having an old man that played AFL, I've always wondered. You wouldn't know any different either. What it's not, not to have it. But do you look back and think it was a good thing for your footy development and I don't know, father-son relationship? I know that's probably a bit heavy, but how was that dynamic given he played, watching you play footy, and you said biggest critic? How did that work from a relationship? Yeah,
it was probably because when I was growing up, my dad, once he finished footy, he coached a couple of teams, Kwinana and Armidale. And I remember as a young kid just going every Thursday night training and just kicking goals. Literally, while I hit their training, I was just sitting in the 50 just kicking goals. And a couple of the forwards that were at Armidale in the end ended up coming in. We made comps before training and stuff. But I've just grown up around a footy club my whole life. And with Dad, being my biggest critic, I'd play good games almost weekly, but it was never a good game sort of in Dad's eyes. It was you could have done this, you could have done that. And it sort of brought me back to you couldn't get ahead of yourself. It was always how you can improve in going into the next game, what just learnings from what I did and what I didn't do. So
Did he say to you at any point you could play AFL? Did he give you that sort of pathway?
Probably not, and he never really pushed me either. It was just it was with all our my brother and sister as well. It's just you just got to enjoy the game, and I think obviously going through the grades, getting close to AFL, I think it became something I really wanted to do. So I think just the drive of getting there was more than him pushing me towards it. Yeah. I think obviously having him that's been there and having my 2 uncles as well. But what they did forget is probably them playing the game to I playing the game. The game had completely changed. So them telling me, why are you standing there? Why are you running there? It's just that's the rules now. That's the team structure.
Well, your Uncle Peter, one of the greats of all time for West Coast, and your old man as well. But a story that I've heard from Pete is him smoking durries, standing up on the toilet in the middle of the games at halftime, having a smoke of a durry. I mean, it's not something that really crosses like a Ross Lyon walking into the Freo room. What's going on in there, Brandon? I'm just having a dart. Sorry, mate.
There's so many stories you hear from those guys. Even I think had a swig of whiskey. I think they used to as well when the cold days in Melbourne. So
what, to warm them up?
Yeah, warm them up. So it's pretty amazing where it's come from. Footy's changed in quite a bit since. I think Dad, that was almost his second job was footy. So he would work during the day and then train the arvos.
So when you come up to sort of draft age, was father-son an option? Because like Wally played almost 150 games for South Freo.
Yeah.
Was father-son I don't know how those rules work.
Yeah, I think there was something going on there because I think Freo, if he played 2 more games or 3 more games for South Freo, because I think he played 147, so it was 150. I think Dockers might have had a chance of getting father-son.
Right.
Not too sure how that happened, but maybe it was just the way they came into the comp and there was a rule like that. But there was jokes when I was playing at South, like for him to sit on the bench as well, just to try and keep you in Perth. But
list him on the squad.
Yeah, but that was the only thing. Other than that, it was just when it's 17, it was had to move sort of thing. You didn't really get a choice, even though at the stage I didn't want to leave, but once I got over there, it was. Didn't want to come back sort of thing.
So you picked up as a 17-year-old to Gold Coast.
Yeah.
So did you know that earlier on? Because you're one of the first picked up, or were you one of those batches that got picked up?
One of the first, yeah.
What are your thoughts when that's happening?
Oh, it happened really quick. So 2009, just playing Colts. All through Colts. Then we played I played one reserves game. Then the week later, didn't think I played that well, but got rushed straight into the league team to play. Played 2 games. Didn't play good footy, but came into the last game of the year and they said, let's just go back. And I think Colts had to win to get into the finals, where the other 2 were pretty good teams and top of the ladder. So I went back to Colts and we just missed out by 2 points to make in the final. So I was pretty lucky to play in the reserves grand final.
Nice.
And then, it happened pretty quick after that, because even through the 18s Carnival is probably when it first came out. After our first game, we played South Australia at Subiaco, and I think I kicked 4 or 5 in that game. And then it was the Monday morning. I'd left school, so I was a Tyler apprentice, and every morning I'd have to get out the boss's car and go get, because I didn't have my license, go get the paper and pack of darts for him. And when I got to the paper, it was my full back page spread Matera to the Gold Coast, and I was like, what? Like, nothing had been heard of before, and rang Mum. Dad was like, have you seen the paper? Like,
what the heck?
I'm leaving. So, and then that day, literally, Mum and Dad received calls from managers and signed with Colin Young, and within like a couple of weeks, met up with Gold Coast, and it was literally happening. So
you're out of the car buying durries and a coffee for your boss, and you've seen it on the back page of the paper.
Yeah, and that was the first thing I heard of Gold Coast. I knew obviously Gold Coast were coming in, but didn't think I was like a pick for them. And it just happened so quick, and that was mid-year, so it was July, and then I was moved up in end of September, I think first week of October.
I can't believe that they didn't even call you to say, hey, we're going to draft.
No, it wasn't like we were going to. It's like I'm in the eyes of Gold Coast, and it was just like, shit, what's happening?
So what's it like first walking into Gold Coast? And probably at the time you don't know what, I guess, a footy club looks like, and you move back to Freo, so you sort of experience that as well. But is it pretty rough and ready? Like this is early days inaugural side.
Oh mate, it was we're walking. The night before, I caught up with Bluey. The family come over as well, so we had dinner at his house. And then he's like, "Make sure you're there tomorrow." I was like, "What do we wear?" And he's like, "Just wear your South Freo kit." So when I've rocked in, I've had my South Freo foot. Look, I've never been to like going to training at South. Like you're coming straight from work, so you're just in your kit ready to go. So I rocked up, and everyone's in casuals. So he's really set me up. But
that's so rough.
Yeah, but all there was on the Gold Coast at that stage was literally a massive green shed, which was our weights, and you'd get changed in, and then there was one demountable, and that was it. That was the change room. So we didn't train at. Actually, I lied. The first couple of weeks we trained at the back of Carrara Stadium, which was called then, and it was just like
a car park.
Yeah, it was literally a car park and 4 soccer pitches. So, and we did our 2K time trial around that, did our skills, but then on main training sessions we'd drive to Southport and do training there, and then come back there for gym. So, and it was like, over there, I don't know if you've done a summer over there, but it's stinking hot and like humid, and being in that gym, you just sweat. Like, it was disgusting.
So you got a bunch of 17-year-olds that you're involved in. There were some senior players kind of getting added to the mix as well.
Yeah.
So are you effectively like trying to build a footy club as players? Like,
yeah, so I should go back a step. So that when I first moved up, I went up a year before we came into the AFL. So your VFL. So we did a year of VFL, which was good. So it made the transition, I suppose, coming over, just playing a year of VFL, getting to know the guys. So we're all young. We're only 18-year-olds, especially even the older guys that we had on the list before they got like sort of cut before going into the AFL. So we're all young, didn't really know too much. So, and I think it was only Bluey, a GM, obviously a CEO, and probably one admin lady. So like it was just nothing there, and it was literally like a site office at a work site. So yeah, and then going to the next year, they moved the gym from one side because they were building the stadium at the same time. Got moved from one side to the other side, and we had probably an extra 3 or 4 demountable offices. Like,
were you carrying the weights across the oval? Weren't you blokes like? It wasn't one of your weight sessions to take all the stuff from one side? To the other?
And it was taken at 2 Southports, so we had to drive it there. So
it was filling cars full of weight.
But I just thought that was a norm. Like no one really knew until we got the senior players in the year later. So it was, and they were like, "What are we doing?"
What were your first impressions of Gary Ablett walking in?
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. We had Ken Hinkley come up the year of our VFL as well, and he was coaching him and Bluey, obviously the 2 coaches. So he was sort of saying that he was coming all year, and we'll all get excited and that. And yeah, so it was pretty cool to hear that he signed with us. Best player in the comp at that stage going around, and we got to get him up there. But yeah, seeing him the first day. He obviously didn't do the 2K. He was just there shaking hands and watching. I don't think he probably only did 2K when I was actually there the whole time.
Smart.
So he was very smart. He didn't get out in the pre-season too often, but still rock up on round 1 and still get 40. It's unbelievable how he did that.
What sort of characters did you have around your age? Like, is there players still playing now that was around then?
Dave Swaller's still going around, who's probably still at the club, and I really hope that they can get to the finals this year. I think I saw the other day it's like 240-something games without a final.
So he's a proper old boy.
Yeah, so he would be the oldest one, and that probably made my move a lot easier because I obviously grew up with him.
Right.
And they picked him up as the first pick, so they asked AFL if they could move him up the year before to play in the VFL as well, and so that made my move a lot easier. Going across knowing someone, but we were put into a host family, and myself, Dave, and Trent moved in, so we had 3 of us, which was pretty cool. Yeah, the Cannon. Yeah, so we lived upstairs. There was a 3-bedroom and a kitchen, everything upstairs that we ever needed. The only time we ever went down is to have dinner. That was our number one thing. The host mum said we always have dinner together, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, she taught us a lot as well. It was probably good to have the support of her.
What was her name?
Marianne and Mark Cherry, their names were, and she was harsh though. She was very hard. I remember on a few night outs, would come home a little bit late, and she'd be sitting in, like, you'd walk in, the front door would open, and there was just a long hallway, and there's a chair there, and she'd just be sitting there.
Oh my gosh, like
asking like a mum, and it's like, you didn't tell me you were staying out this late. I was like,
sorry, like a candle lighting her face up.
But she was good. Like, she was strict on us and taught us like how to cook, how to wash our clothes, all that stuff that had no idea before.
Well, so we spent some time over in Gold Coast for the COVID, whatever that was, the hub, right?
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, like, we weren't allowed in venues, but we were allowed to go to the beach, like, by yourself, as long as you were separated by fucking 5, or whatever that was going on.
Shockingly.
Yeah. And I just remember, and I've been back since, like, it's pretty good setup there, like, especially like Burleigh and Tweed, like all those places along there. And it's you boys would have had some, like, footy would have been a focus, but like you're 17, 18 years old, and you're on the Gold Coast. Yeah,
mate, it was pretty good. And a lot of those areas you just named, like Burleigh and that, they weren't even part, like, obviously Gold Coast, but the older we got there, the more the years we were there, we slowly moved out to Burleigh, and that's where you wanted to hang. But at the start, we only really knew Surfers Paradise and Broadbeach Waters.
Broadbeach,
Cavill. And they banned it pretty quick that we weren't allowed into Surfers straight pretty much first year.
Just said, no,
it was just too much going on. But I think when Campbell Brown came up, we had to go to Levers. So we went to Levers. Well, our first year we were there as well. Before he came, we went to Levers because we were actually only 18, so we were allowed in to go to that. But yeah, I don't think we missed the Levers for 2 or 3 years.
No one's allowed to Cavill Ave. Brownie gets hell up. We're all going to Cavill Ave.
Yeah, we're straight to Levers. So, but yeah, no, it was a great place. The lifestyle is really laid back. When on your day off, you just cafe hop really. Just have breakfast somewhere, then you go get a coffee somewhere else. Like it's pretty good, especially in Gold Coast winters. It's like the perfect weather. Sun's out, it's fresh, but it's still 23, 24 degrees.
Yes.
So good. I'm just gonna adjust your mic a little bit.
You can just push it away. Oh, that's fine. You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was thinking, like to Trent McKenzie, like so I'm just seeing that we've actually had a couple of Gold Coast, like
Dan Gorringe.
Yeah, well, Dan Gorringe and Campbell Brown, we've had them on like relatively recently.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned Brownie then, and Dan Gorringe. Can you tell me about them? Because like all you see from Dan in the media, he's brilliant. We love what he does. He just talks shit about himself. Was he actually any good?
No, he came. He had the best body for footy. Like he was huge, massive guy. But he was just struck with injuries all the time. He just couldn't get out in the park. But yeah, I didn't think he was that out there, to be honest. But he was a funny guy. Obviously, always around the club. Always did the social medias. But he's made a real job of himself now. Hey, he's really he's on everything.
And then what about Brownie? Brownie told some bloody ripping, but both of his stories just revolved around off season and footy trips. Like, was he ahead of footy trips once he got to the club?
Definitely. I was locker buddies pretty much. He was 30, I was 32. So
Wow.
And yeah, we got a pretty good connection straight away with a couple of us lads, and definitely hung out pretty much every day off with each other. Loved the trip down to Byron Bay. It was only an hour 45 into an hour. So we'd go down even after recovery on a Sunday and just chill for the day and then head back. But yeah, that was his number one thing is you never miss a footy trip. So, and we were obviously pretty shit in the first couple of years. So we were booking footy trips in probably June.
That's bloody good. Oh, don't worry, I've been involved in plenty of footy clubs like that, and that's a good thing too. 2011, you kick 4 goals and the Suns win their first game, round 5 was your first win. Remember that?
I do, and I almost pulled out game day. I don't know what it was. I had a sore foot. Actually, nothing wrong with it, but it was just giving me the shits before the game. I rang the doc and it's like I needed to get looked at. So he gave me some pain relief before we got to the ground, and I did the warm up. Still felt it a little bit. But yeah, he was like, I reckon just strap it and we'll play. So played and ended up being probably the best game for the year, and we got our first win. So I was lucky I did stay out.
Do the boys know that song?
No, we had no idea. We had the guy holding it up. Barry, his name was holding up the words. But it was pretty fun. But it was probably the best feeling. Probably throughout my career, remembering that when you're having our first win, because I think we're a few goals down too. So.
How many wins you would have had in that year? Or only a few.
I think we had 3.
Yeah.
3-3-3, I think, or something like that throughout my career. 2014, we had a pretty good start to the year, and then everyone just got injured. I think we had 10 injuries in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And
did you sort of know that would be the case early days? Like, is there? I don't know. No one's probably talking in a footy club like, oh, we're not very good. But like, are you just sort of prepared to get beaten a lot?
No, especially pre-season, because we didn't really know either. And I think I remember going into our first game and I thought, we're a good chance here. We're playing Carlton. We've had a pretty good pre-season. Like, we didn't really know anything. We had Gary Abler, we had Nathan Bock, Rich Catelli, Campbell Brown, Nathan Cracker, Harbrow. So we had some pretty good players in, and we had all the first round draft picks as well, all playing. And we got beaten by 119 points.
Did you?
Yeah, I just really never remember. Always remember how quick it was. I was like, fuck, we got a long way to go.
Really?
Like, it was so quick. And I was playing on Chris Yaron, and he was just like, if you let him go goal side, he was just gone. And so that really was a bit of an eye opener going to the next season, for a pre-season, how hard we sort of had to train to get to those levels, because you don't really make up any fitness throughout the year from game to game. It's just recovery, really. So the pre-season is a massive is probably what you learn more you go through, is how it sets you up for your year, pretty much.
I can't. I can tell you why you thought it was fast. You're playing on Chris Yaron, mate. It's not the fastest player to ever play in the AFL.
Oh, mate, you ran me everywhere, eh? But
were you playing the back line? I was going to ask you before you were playing the back. What were you doing playing on someone? You're a forward.
Yeah,
mate.
I know. I had to chase out these these days now. But yeah, I was. Yeah, he just tore me one. I couldn't work out how quick he was. So that was good though. It was a good experience. Got a win, but I was cramping before half time in that game. So
Yeah.
Lucky to almost got the vest.
I was having a look at a few highlights on YouTube, having a bit of a run through, and found Carmichael Hunt kicking a goal to win the game after the siren against the Tigers, 2012. You kicked in the ball. And I think, well, you talk your way through it, mate, but I think undersold in that whole thing is you getting them the ball.
Yeah, definitely, mate. It was a vision.
Brandon Matera.
It's actually a pretty good play because it was obviously still living together. Trent, Dave, and myself, and Dave handballed to Trent. Trent kicked the ball, and I picked it up and hit K. But I remember picking it up and just looking up, and he was the only player I saw in the 50s. So I was had to go, and I was cramping in my left calf as well. So as I've kicked it, my legs got stuck, and I've hit him, and I was literally on the bench or on the boundary line, for a minute trying to stretch out before. And then when he's kicked it, I've had to hobble on to the boys. But yeah, it was a pretty surreal feeling that game to come back and get the win.
What's up,
I think it was our first win for that year as well.
Maybe.
It was. That was under Rocket, I'm pretty sure.
Marianne, your hostie then, if you were all living together, was she up late that night?
Yeah, we had to fly back, so I got the business seat off K, which was nice. But yeah, no, she would have been there. She was happy. She was always, up and about when we got home after a win.
What was it like with Carmichael, coming from switching codes and stuff? Were there times that you felt like you were trying to teach him AFL and stuff, or was it just did he slip straight in?
He slipped straight in, but he came also into the VFL year, and he was just he'd train with us, but then he'd do one-on-one coaching pretty much with Ken Hinkley, after training, before training, just kicking, and he actually become a really good kick. It was probably the fitness and the body shape that really let him down. He couldn't obviously run out games because his quads were 3 times the size of everyone else's.
It's a big unit.
But he was he fit in well with the club. He got around the boys, and he did his part, probably putting Gold Coast on the map up in Queensland, because no one knew who we were. You'd go to a footy thing and all they asked was where was Carmichael? Where's Carmichael? Right. Why is he not here? It was either Carmichael or Gary Ablett. So, he probably did his part in putting us on the map. But yeah, he obviously had to change a lot to fit in there.
Did you were you at the Brownlow when Gary won it?
No, I wasn't. I was actually in Melbourne. I think it was the second. Yeah, that one he won it with us. But I don't know why I didn't go. But I had the next night at the AFL Players Review in the footy show, so that was a good night.
Tell us about that.
Yes,
I didn't find that in my research, but let's talk about that.
You got to find that video. So yeah, that was another Campbell Brown thing. He organised it, and they come up to Gold Coast. We did a training session up there and of our dance, and then came down, did the 2 days of training with everyone.
What did you do? What was the song?
We did Miley Cyrus, so a wrecking ball, come in like a wrecking ball, and I was Miley, so
were you?
Yeah, you have to get some vision.
Oh, don't worry, it should be clipping up right over the top of that.
It's hard to find, but it is out there.
Swinging on the ball?
No, I was just what do you call it? Shaking ass sort of thing, twerking. Yeah, so with my big hand.
Oh, that's fine. I was twerking like Miley Cyrus.
It was pretty funny actually. Yeah. And then I think it was Trent McKenzie, Dion Prestia, and Harley Burnell. I think Harley was a sheep. I don't know why. It's a real
sounds awesome.
It was a real funny.
Sounds like you guys nailed it.
But it was a good night, that's for sure.
Footy trip money. That sounds like footy trip money.
Yeah.
Brownie's going, right, we're getting paid and we're putting the footy trip.
Mate, it was, No, we had some good footy trips as well, obviously.
Best one?
Oh, it's hard. Probably best one was Vegas, I think. But then...
It's pretty good.
Yeah, best place I've been was Croatia. Doing the Sail of Croatia. Yeah, did that
as a footy?
Nah, I did that with Trent McKenzie and Jack Martin. But then we had a couple other boys. I think it was Tommy Nichols and I think it was Pierce. But yeah, we all met up at. They were on different boats, but obviously you meet up each night. But yeah, that was a good trip.
Got to be honest, mate. I just can't stop looking at you and thinking of you dressing as
yeah. Miley,
yeah, I did that for Mad Monday too. That same year.
Were you did you go to? I think it was Arizona for a training camp, and then the stop off at Vegas on the way.
Yeah, so the first year they stopped us off in Vegas, but we were all under 21, so we weren't allowed out except for the older guys. It's a funny story. So I don't know if you heard the Liam Patrick story.
No, can you tell it?
Yeah, probably could tell you a little bit. We went to Arizona,
Yeah.
14-day camp, I think it was, and that was a great experience. We did that 3 times. First time was obviously real hard, getting used to it. The first couple of nights you couldn't sleep because you couldn't breathe properly. Your throat was always sore, and obviously you couldn't run as fast or as hard as you could. So adapting that and doing a couple of hikes in the Grand Canyon was pretty cool. But yeah, after the first trip, they stopped us off in Vegas for, I think it was just a night actually. And like I said, we're all under 21, so all the young guys sort of just walked the street, went for a little walk, and the older guys got to go out and obviously have a drink and that. But Liam Patrick's obviously from Ludgermana, who's probably only like 30 or 40 people. His town, and he went there. Obviously, we took him to Vegas, so but he didn't do much. He just went down. I think they went out for a drink, and they had to be home by 12 o'clock or whatever it was, which they were, and he was as well. But on the way in, where we were staying, there was a live band playing at the time, so he just stayed down there and sat and watched, and kept drinking. And next day, we had to fly out to I think it was. Fly out to Phoenix to catch our flight back home, and we were split up in 3 flights, and Flash didn't rock up to the first flight, so we had to try and find him. And then they I think he was rooming with Josh Caddy actually, and he was on the first flight as too, and didn't bring him along. So then the second flight happened, still didn't turn up, and then the third flight after the second, we better find him, and he was just still asleep, just out cold, pack of darts, just side by side.
I thought he was still watching the live band.
Mate, it was so funny. And then obviously he had to get up in front of the group back in on the Gold Coast, and he stands up the front, and he obviously can't speak much English, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm sunny, boys. Vegas got the real good of me. I'll try not to do it again." It was so funny. I think Blue was like, "You gonna try not to do it?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'll try." It was so funny.
Well, mate, Liam Patrick's in good bloody hands, I reckon. There's a few blokes at Vegas have got the very best on.
Yeah. No, it was good.
That's brilliant. Well done. Thank you for sharing that. So at what point, mate, you play 101 for Gold Coast. So you're a 100-game player at that footy club. Does that make you a life member? Or what?
I don't know. Hope so. Maybe a life member somewhere.
So you play 100 games there, kick 124 goals, and then you traded to Freo in 2017. Is that a good moment in your career? You're happy to come home? What's...
Bit of mixed emotions. I think it was 2014... probably had an opportunity as well to come home. I think West Coast put something towards me.
Right.
Yeah, but I think...
Could have been teammates.
Yeah, could have been. But it was more just... I think I was settled there. Like, I was good mates. Like, I don't know, when you're at a footy club, you obviously know you get real close with everyone. We had a pretty good start to the year, so I didn't really want to leave, and I think I signed halfway through that year and stayed there for an extra 3 years. But then coming to 2017, I was out of contract. Freo offered me a 3-year deal where Gold Coast just offered the 1, but weren't going to confirm until the end of the year. So sort of said yes to Fremantle, which was awesome because I really wanted to play in front of my family and friends. Never got to do that. Only got to come over a couple of times a year because it's a hard place to get to. Gold Coast, you have to fly into Melbourne or Sydney, then out up to there. So... obviously, got the chance to come home and play in front of the family and friends, and I only lasted 3 years at Freo, but no regrets. I think like footy takes you on a journey, and I was being pretty lucky to play at 2 clubs. Got to play a game in China, and like you get to travel the world, which footy allows you to do that and meet lifetime friends, and still hang out with our Freo guys now, which is good, and see them around.
So coaches across your career, Blue McKenna. Sounds like you had a little bit of Ken Hinkley at the VFL. Yeah,
so Kenny was probably my obviously Bluey did a lot for me and backed me in all week to week, but Kenny was probably my coach because he was the forwards coach at the time as well. So he had a lot to do with me and sort of made me as a footballer. Some hard truths and really had some got on really well. Like you could have a laugh and then he'd be like dead serious to us. And he was like, you could sort of see that with the players, I suppose, at Port Adelaide.
Yeah.
He gets around them all and then he knows when to be serious. And in my opinion, I feel like nothing against Bluey or anything, but I feel he probably should have been the coach when he ended 2013. I think Port Adelaide offered him the coaching deal and I think he asked Gold Coast and they said, no, we're going to give Bluey one more year, and then they sacked Bluey the year after. So they should, well, in my feel, I think that should have made a hard call and gave Kenny the job, and who would have known what would happen. I think a lot more players might have stayed, and we could have gone on to better things there.
Yeah, it's interesting because he's clearly an absolute weapon of a coach. Now he hasn't had premiership success at Port Adelaide, but he's run one of the best footy programs in the AFL. They've been so successful without a flag.
Yeah.
Interesting hearing that sort of insight. I didn't actually realise he was at Gold Coast. I didn't know he was there.
Yeah, so he was up there the VFL year, and then 3 years.
So you didn't see Rocket Eade then because he came in after.
Nah,
Bluey.
yeah. So Bluey had the extra year, 2014, and then they made the call and got Rocket in the year after.
Oh, so you had Rocket?
Yeah, had Rocket. Yeah, so I had Rocket for 3 years.
So who had the best cooks then? Because you had Ross at Freo, right?
Yeah.
So who had the best cook then? Bluey. You can put Ken in there if you want. Rocket or Ross?
Definitely Rocket. Ross's sprays or goes were like all team orientated, like sort of just to get the best out of you. Like he'd have a go at you, but it was always to get the best. Where Rockets just sometimes got a bit personal, and then you just cop the spit in the fuck. Because I was always at the front as well. Like when you're in the huddle, just spit going in your eyes.
Any directed at Brandon Matera? Any you cop any?
I caught one, an off-field one. Myself, Trent and Harley, we got suspended for a game for drinking on a Sunday. And we had to go in the office one by one to talk to him, and then all the coaches in there as well. And I was the third one, so like we're all in the room and you can just hear him going off. Because we were like I say, we're in demandables, like little site offices, so you can hear everything.
So you're like waiting out the front like the principal's office?
Yeah, principal's office. And
so you've heard the first two?
Yes, I think Harley was first, Trent was second, and then it got to me and he's like, yeah. I didn't even say a word because like it didn't have to be said because I knew what was already happening. So I was like, yeah. I didn't agree with it, but I caught up with him the next day, had a milkshake with him because he didn't drink coffee, and told him my side of the story because I didn't get to tell it the day before, and that didn't go down too well. And I think
the milkshake.
No, just
catch up didn't go down well.
I don't know. Well, that next morning after I caught up with him, we walk into the team meeting and there was an article up on the screen, and it was like word for word what I told him the day before.
Is that right?
And I don't talk to Carolyn Wilson, but never met the lady. And it was like up there, and it was like someone's talking to the media, this and that, and I was like, that's literally everything I've just said. So I like called Gaz, and I was like, Gaz, that was me that said all that, but I said it to Rocket.
I didn't say it to Caroline Wilson.
I don't know how that got out there. Yeah. But like Rocket and I probably didn't get off on the best, probably at the start. But by the end of it, we become like besties. Hung out quite a bit. We actually got a beard together actually. And then it's obviously sad when you see a coach get sacked as well. So I went over and caught up with him and had a drink with him after that.
Okay, so that's Rocket. What about Ross?
Ross was good. So I caught up with Ross. Actually flew myself down after a Q clash to go meet Ross. I think it was round 20 up. They played in Sydney and got beaten by 100 points. But I flew down and caught up with him just because I never met him and see what I was sort of getting into. Going over to Perth, and we got off like house on fire. He really rode the group to get the best out of it, like just every aspect of the game. Like I remember getting, like we were just doing easy training drill, like a zone thing, and manning the mark was massive. Obviously, back when he was coaching here, and I was just standing on the man of the mark with the hands and thing, and he stopped the whole drill and asking, "How good do I think I'm going? Well, like who do you think you are? Like you don't reckon you can man the mark like everyone else?" Like it was just the way he said it, but it was like to get the best thing out of you.
Yeah.
And he chucked me on the assault bike a couple of times and stood there and watched me. And
Brandon, how you going, mate? Do you think you're better than the rest of us? You're better than Garrick.
Yeah.
You're better than Michael.
Mate, you can do the impersonation perfect. But and he was the best. The team meetings were good. Like I'd never had a notebook ever in my life, not even at school. And when we got to Freo, there was a notebook in my locker, and I was like, "What's this for?" And he goes, "Oh, you need it." The boys like, "You need to take it to the meetings. Like you need to jot everything down. And I was like, yeah, right. So I took it in there, and like after the first couple of meetings, you go through the edits and stuff, and he'd pick people out in the crowd. Like he had his little bowl with names, and you pull your name out, and you had to answer what was clipped for, who did you see it, what went wrong, what can we do better, and you had to say everything. And this is probably like 2 days before, and I was like, geez, I better start writing stuff down then.
Yeah.
And and you always had to review the review. Or like the next day after review, you'd go in and you have to review the review.
Review the review.
Yeah, and
What do you mean, so like you like rate it how good the review was?
No, we like
Nah, just go through every edit, every clip, what
Right.
the learnings, what you can get better at, and he'd ask, like he'd pick a player out in the room. It's like, all right, come up the front and take the
What would happen
take
if
the
they
review.
got it wrong?
Oh, he'd just cold show you up, sit down, next person, and it was just yeah, Rachel knows she'd probably win a couple.
You've just reminded me. I've never told this on a podcast. We used to have that exact system with Phil Walsh. So
Yeah,
I don't know
right.
if they work together. Like Walsh sort of struck me a bit of a Ross Lyon operator, like one of the best coaches I've ever had.
Yeah,
But he would have a big bowl of numbers, and they were wooden balls,
yeah,
and he would pull them out, and it's exactly the same system. So me and Mitch Brown, we were walking past the team meeting room one day, and they'd left the bag of balls in there, and I go, "Oi, why don't we go steal our numbers out, and we'll never get caught out.
yeah.
We'll never have to answer another thing." So we stole the balls. We had them in our lockers for 3 years. Never got asked a question. Never got asked another
right.
question in a meeting.
That's really
No.
one of the great acquisitions. of all
Yeah,
time.
I did that. I just said it to Ross after we were walking in at the same time one time, and he was like, "Maybe you should take the review today." And I was like, "Ross, I don't know how to write stuff down. I've left school, so I didn't know how to do that sort of stuff. I can never do that." And he was like, "Okay." So I got offered after
Oh,
that,
that's
so it was
good.
perfect.
Didn't you kick one of the goals of the year? I don't think it was goal of the year, but it was a nomination, wasn't it? Playing for Freo? No,
Don't know.
I'm making that up.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I watched you kick an absolute belter.
You almost kicked a
Maybe.
pigeon.
I did, yeah. That was another Ross one, yeah. Walking in and flew across me, and I don't know why I didn't stop, but it was just like I was already in my momentum, and I was like, and I'd missed it too, and I remember all I remember was in my head was just like Ross's head, like I don't know. I just still to this day I don't know why I went back. Even the Richmond guys were like, "Why didn't you stop?" And I was like, "I don't know."
I haven't
I
seen
just
this.
kept
What
going.
happens? What happens?
I was just walking in for my set shot. I was probably only 30 out directly in front, and as I've gone to release it, a pigeon's come across, and Instead of like stopping, I've like done
You
the
go
stutter
like the
and
JK
then like
stutter.
kicked it again, and it's just pulled it across. And I've just gone like that, and all the Richmond boys have just lost it.
Ross would be up.
Oh, I think we were pretty close that game too. So
I'll have to watch that. That's bloody
Yeah.
good. So when it all finishes up at Freo, mate, like how do you feel about how you finish up and looking back on your career at AFL level? Do you feel content? Do you feel great opportunity, or do you have stuff you felt like you left out there? How do you feel?
yeah, it was a bit mixed. It was obviously the COVID year I finished up, so it was that year. Whole year was totally different. And I probably did see the writing on the board going into the second hub. There was obviously like the news, the media going around that I could be finishing up, but manager didn't really say that you were, and the club's still telling you, "No, you'll be playing." So you still sort of have some hope. But then once you hear it, you're obviously disappointed. But whatever you say, I was more thankful for the club for giving me the opportunity, because they're not really going to change your mind once they've told you. And there wasn't real much go anywhere else. So, just finished up. Bit of an eye-opener, obviously going from a footy journey of 10 years to I didn't set anything up. Lucky I bought myself a house, but didn't have any off-field or any ideas what I was going to do for work outside of after footy. So my uncle was probably pretty good in helping me that. Or first, I probably should say Subiaco, obviously reached out to me, and my brother was playing there at the time, so it was a great opportunity to go play footy with him, which I'd never done.
Nice.
And offered me a job that never came through. So I actually, for 3 or 4 months, was just doing nothing and just training. And then it was my uncle that was like, you need to do something. So he has a fruit and veg company that supplies all the mine sites and that, so or caters for them all. So he got me out he had a greenhouse out in Carnup, so I'd go out there once or twice a week and help plant the stock to grow for like to bring it back up here for like the Woolworths and all the mine sites. And then after probably a month, he sort of sat me down and said, "What are you going to do?" And I was like, I actually still had no idea. So it was just living day to day sort of thing. So he offered me a job, which was like a client relationship business manager sort of thing. And yeah, with that, it was like a 8-week course of just like learning the business. So first I did 4 weeks out the back, packing boxes, learning about fruit and veg sort of thing, going to the markets with the buyer and learning how to buy the fruit and veg off the farmers and the dealers out there. And then, so I did that, and then it was just going out to clients and making sure they were happy sort of thing. But in the meantime of that happening, he offered me, I think the buyers, they were getting obviously a bit bigger, so he asked me if I wanted to do the buying out at the markets, which was, I actually quite enjoyed that, going out. There was a bit early mornings, and especially when it was cold, it was hard to get up for, but you're in and out and done by 9:30, 10 o'clock, so I didn't actually mind that, doing that. And then I had another job that Subi gave me, just a friend of a friend. He was just putting... going around to the meter boxes, like the electrical box in the at everyone's house, and putting chips in. So yeah, I was getting $5 a chip or whatever putting in. So I made it like a little comp for myself. Like, so I'd do the morning shift in the morning at the markets, and then I'd race to whatever suburb we were in, and then just smash out as many chips I get. Yeah, so I was either getting $27 an hour or $5 a chip. So I just made sure I was more than. I'd make it. I wanted to earn more than what I could do working with the hourly rate. So I did that for probably 6 months, 4 to 6 months, and then and then footy kicked in, so it was a bit hard to do the long days and that. But yeah, then there was an opportunity. I started a business with a mate at the time, and then 4 years later, I'm still going with that.
You're running your own business now.
Yeah,
You got staff.
Yeah, so started with one employee that with the separation, he came with me, and he's just a handyman, just knows everything, knows how to do everything. So I use that to, going to clients, send out emails to like councils, Water Corp, ATCO, all the government.
Because what are you doing? Landscaping? No.
Yeah, so do reinstatement, landscape maintenance. So our main source is following around the service providers. So ATCO Gas, Water Corp, hopefully soon, but we're doing a little bit for Water Corp now, but NBN, and whatever they dig up, putting all the new gas lines through, all the new services to the houses, we come in behind and reconstruct.
What's it called?
Reinstatement.
Unreal. I like it. Well, I think it's just a good little example of, especially someone who's played footy for your amount of time as well. Like 10 years, it's not a 18-year career like Scott Pendlebury. It's not a 2-year career like some guys in and out. You've been in the system a decent long time. You've been in 2 states. You've been trying to concentrate and play footy, and then you're not. And it's like, it's a bit of a, shit, what do I do now?
Yeah, definitely. And I tell the guys now, still at Freo, my close mates, I was like, mate, just get something in the pipeline, just find something that you might enjoy and go try it. And that's probably what I've learned since being out of footy is I probably didn't network enough at the clubs. Like I speak to Phil as well, and he was pretty lucky. He finished his electrical apprenticeship before I think he started at Eagles, but obviously followed it through, and he started a business while he was playing. And then once he finished, he obviously through the networks, he got a contract with maintaining all new Hungry Jackses. Like he was the electrician for him. So just through networking, I think, especially in the footy clubs, there's so many sponsors, people that actually want to know you, that you can use to your advantage and get to know them and find something that you've got a niche for. And yeah,
that's good.
Well, mate, I mean, it sounds like you've been able to bloody pick yourself up a little bit, because I know a lot of my former teammates as well, mate, come out of footy and don't know what to do and haven't done anything while they're playing. And everyone will sit here, and maybe they're listening right now, so you paid a shitload of money to play footy, you should have sorted something out. But my argument back the other way, and I've been fortunate enough to build this with Dan as well, is you're really trying your ass off to be the best in the country at something, which is football.
Yeah.
And there's not many occupations around where you do it, trying to be the best in the country at something while starting a business somewhere else, doing something else. So it's just a good example of coming out, but well done, mate.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've done it. Hasn't been easy though. Did you say
No,
that?
it hasn't. Like I said, I separated with my first business partner, but probably the support of my partner, my family, to go through those hard bits. But then it was like, obviously, I think I was probably seeing Phil as well, how good his business is going and how he's done it. It was like, that's what I wanted to do. And now having a young one and another one on the way sort of gave me the purpose of like, I want to give them the life that I've been given by my family, and the only way to do that is work hard. So
Well done.
That's cool.
Yeah. You still playing footy?
yeah, I'm coaching out at Ben Cubbon, so player coach. Yeah, we fell short the last 2 years, but this year we're looking nice. We're 3 games on top, but yeah, that means nothing. I've told the boys.
So
until you
you're
get there.
you're like player coach.
Player
How does
coach,
that
yeah.
go?
I never thought I would be a coach. I did but that's the same with footy. You do stuff throughout the journey. Like I did the list management course and the coaching course. And after I finished at Subi, I sort of lost the last year at Subi. We won the flag the first year. The second year we lost a few players and we missed out in finals. And I sort of lost the enjoyment in footy really. And I wasn't really going to play. And my brother's best mate plays out at Ben Cubbon. A couple of his mates played out there, and I wasn't going to play at all. And they said I'd just come out and meet the coach and the president. So I went to Como and had a few beers, and I said, I'll play 3 games. I'll qualify for yous. But once I got out there, it was like a little country town, and they played the hockey, the netball, and then the footy all on one day, and it just becomes like a little community get together, I suppose. And I really enjoyed it. And I was the only player in 2 years not to miss a game after saying I was only going to play 3 games. But after the first year, the coaching role came up, and they sort of asked if I'd do it, and I was like, yeah, why not? Bit of a challenge. And yeah, it's probably helped me grow, I suppose, more with my business as well, having to learn to, now I've got 7 workers, like learning each other's how they take stuff and how to give feedback. And so, it's been really good. And this year we're going really well. So hopefully we can go all the way, but
Nice.
no.
What about AFL? Are you a Freo fan, Gold Coast fan? How do you follow?
Yeah, it's funny. It was like,
West Coast fan.
yeah, I'm sort of no one's fan at the moment. Like, obviously, on the weekend, I was off out of my chair going for Freo, but like, it's more a good game. Like, I can't. For Friday nights or Thursday nights, I watch the first quarter, and if it's not like a good game, it's a flick over straight away. Like, I don't want missus watching footy all weekend as well. So, but yeah, it's probably more of a good game that I enjoy. But then Gold Coast have been really good in the last couple of years since I've retired, and especially with everyone, getting past players back to the club and getting involved in that. So I've been back for the 2 past players events, and I think it's got me more wanting them now to, obviously always wanted to have success, but to be around when they do. And yeah, if they make a final this year, I'll definitely be flying myself over there for it and going to be a part of it. And same with Freo, if they can get there, I'll be there for sure.
Freo v Gold Coast in the grand final. Who do you?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll just probably go to both after parties, like I did when I went to Richmond and GWS.
Wearing the double Freo Gold Coast
yeah,
kit.
like one of the parents. So
Brandon Matera Cup.
It was like 9 players, I think, that's been both clubs. So
There's been a few, eh?
Yeah.
Like, let me
You got Harley Bennell,
Mickey Barlow.
Jay Gary Meara,
Sharp.
Lockie Weller.
It's a good little game, yeah.
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
There you go.
Mate, that's it from us, our questions. Hopefully you enjoyed those. Got a couple more from our audience, so we put your mug up on social media. Social media, this part of the show is called, where the people get to ask you the questions.
Yeah, right.
All right, so this is from Jaiden.
What made you sign with Subiaco, not your old club, South Fremantle?
I was literally just to play with my brother. My brother was at South and didn't get a game there, and Scully,
Jared Variety.
Yeah, got him over to Subi, and he was playing league footy there, and he was pretty settled, and I really just wanted to play with him. So yeah, I'm glad I did make that decision and go there, because we beat South in that final, which it was hard for obviously my old man who goes down to the club pretty much every second week, and I still enjoy going down to South Freo. It's a great club, and I'm obviously knowing a lot of them from when I was playing there.
Logan Sharman, you sort of spoke about this, but it was interesting you talking about country footy. I went and played country footy a couple of weeks ago and just loved it as well. What's Logan's question?
Yeah, how do you find playing footy for Ben Cubbon with your brothers?
So you play with your brothers there?
Yeah, played with my brother, and then a couple of mates. I've just got 2 cousins, my other cousin Jaiden, and then another 2, Zach and Cade. And then I just love being out in the country town. It's a bit of fun. There's no pressure on you. There's no stress. They don't ever said like you need to pull your finger out. It's more the enjoyment I get out of it. Just being back out. Like I love the game, so I'll probably play until I can't play again.
A couple of beers afterwards.
Yeah, and we're probably the only club that's got a keg in the change room. So as you come in, they're already poured, and you're not picking up a Gatorade bottle. You're picking up a pint. So
There you go.
A keg in the change room.
yeah, so one of the guys actually brews his own beer. So I should remember what it's called. The Harvest. I think it's Harvest Benny or Benny Harvest.
Mate,
so,
that's got to be done in the
great.
country.
Yeah, it's unreal. It's unreal.
That's good.
Full keg generator in there.
Hey, mate, after we've done this, maybe have some conversations about bringing me back out of retirement. Come play Ben
Come
Covered.
out there. Come out for a game.
On that topic, the bottom one, Husbra.
Who's the best player you've ever played with, and why is it Riley Sebastian for one Ben Coven game?
Riley Sebastian.
Oh no, Riley Sebastian's not going to be happy because he's obviously written this in.
Yeah.
Who is the best player you've ever played with, and why is it Riley Sebastian for one Ben Coven game? Do you ever, he doesn't know who Riley Sebastian.
Riley, sorry, man.
Oh, Riley, you've had a howl there, buddy.
Mate.
Oh,
So
fuck
sorry.
me. It's probably like
Play with a lot
He's
of
like,
people
"Oh,
with their
Brandon
names.
Sorry, Riley.
They're all
Just
good
tell
boys
how
out
good
there.
he is.
Yeah,
Jesus.
mate. Obviously, if you played out in the Benny pulled on the jumper. You're obviously a great player,
Yeah.
great person. So,
Yeah, that's a good point.
mate, we would have had some fun out there. No, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You putting yourself in the forward line?
After the first game, it was obviously it was probably to work out the standard as well. So after the first game, I found it a bit hard to lead and work out with that. So I played the first year off half back. And then the last 2 have just been alternating from mid forward. Obviously don't run too much, so I just play the squares.
Last one from Smithy7.
Most annoying player you've played with?
Most annoying. Got to think there, but nah.
Maybe against. I don't know with. These are teammates. What about against?
Yeah.
Who was a backman that used to stitch you up, like go hard at AFL level?
Luke Brown was always hard to play on from Adelaide.
He didn't want the pill at all, did he?
No, and
just
he
wanted
was
to beat you. He was a gun.
yeah, and he was so underrated. He
Yeah.
was, and another guy you'll probably remember the game. I think we played against. We played obviously against West Coast, and I think it was my first or second year. And I've kicked 2 in 2 minutes, and I was like, "Oh, how good is this?" And I can't remember who was playing on me. And then Mitch Brown came out to me after quarter time, and he just punched the fuck out of me all game. And I'll never forget. Oh, my arms were that sore, and I had like sore groins going into the game, and like. Because he was just so bad, I couldn't turn, I couldn't move off him, and my arms were like bruised for that whole week.
I mean, how tall are you? What?
I'm only like 174.
Like Brownie's
he was
my
tall.
height, mate.
Yeah, he
mate.
was
and
tall.
like, he would have just come out.
And he was just everything. Every time I went to turn, it was just bang.
Shout
I
out
remember
Brownie.
talking to Gary after it because he was the same. Like Stephen Baker used to get him and he just hit him in the same spot. And it got to a point where he couldn't actually lift his arm.
Now we're
Right
talking.
at this point.
This is Backman Dark Hearts here,
Yeah.
proper. I love it. Mate, last one from the Eggman.
Yeah, how do you like your eggs?
My eggs. I was a poached man, but I've been going scrambled lately.
Yeah,
Don't know
great.
why.
I like it.
Yeah.
Mate, thank you very much for your time today. You've been brilliant. Thanks to our sponsors, ID Athletic, Whippersnapper Whisky, Mamba Digital, TABtouch, Shelter Brewing Co, Leaderville Precinct, Camera Electronic, On1 Services, and Reinstated.
It's reinstatement.
Reinstatement.
Yeah.
Bringing you this one. You can sponsor.
Udara, mate. Udara is the name of the business.
Udara.
Yeah, the reinstatement's the the
Sorry,
service
that's what I'm asking for. Udara.
Udara, yeah. Udara Group.
There you go. Bringing you this podcast today, mate. Thanks
Yeah,
very
mate.
much. Have fun.
I'll leave some cards for you.
Yeah.
Cheers, boys. Thanks so much.